Hey everyone, welcome to Funnels and Follow-Up. I'm Catherine Cohen, your host from Cohen Coaching. Funnels and Follow-Up is all about creating the funnel, creating the way of attracting your prospects into your funnel, into your world, into your way of being, into the way you do business, and making them go through a funnel. Having your prospects go through a series of, it could be emails, it could be content, it could be anything, so that they understand you better, understand how you can help them. And then, there's the follow-up part that so many of us fall down on. Today on the show, I have Debbie Peck. And Debbie has been marketing online since the dark ages. Really, just kidding. Only since 1999. Besides being a marketing coach and working with other coaches and consultants, she is the owner of Debbie Peck Digital. And we're going to talk a lot about that. Today, we're going to talk about the funnel itself, the online software, the online stuff that you need to have in place in order to get your message out. Debbie Peck Digital is an agency that helps people set up courses and funnels, as well as facilitate launches, launch strategies for others. Debbie is from Canada. It's okay. We let Canadians on the show, but lives the freedom lifestyle as a digital nomad traveling around the world. So I'm still getting used to this. Debbie, thank you so much. Last minute ad, we go we go live and then we go into the world of evergreen, and you very sweetly answered my cry for help.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. It's so exciting to see you again. So I love doing this stuff. I could talk about it all day. So yeah, and I'm not traveling right now because of the situation in the world. I've been grounded for a little while, so I've got to do some things to make myself happy, and this makes me happy.
And this makes you happy. Well, I'm glad you can be happy and be on our show. So a little bit more about Debbie Peck Digital and what it is that you're doing for clients. Insofar as, because I know there's a boat ton of stuff that you're doing. You're helping people out. You're helping them get clients. Insofar as the actual physical funnel itself, which makes everybody think of the funnel in your kitchen, but the physical online funnel, the program that delivers content to your people. What are you doing as far as that goes?
Right. Well, we actually use a number of different software packages like ClickFunnels, like Kajabi, all of those sort of specific funnel softwares. But realistically, a funnel doesn't have to be as fancy as that. It can just be, something on Facebook with a call to action to put in your email address. People, I think, tend to overcomplicate it, and it really doesn't have to be super complicated. Really, you're just capturing their information so that you can follow up with them later. So, just a landing page or even a Facebook call to action, as long as you can get their email address to be able to follow up with them through email later, it's all good. So oftentimes people, I think the word funnel itself really is what throws most people off, gets them a little bit twisted up because, it doesn't even have to be a fancy, software. It can be, you could be doing a funnel offline. All a funnel is just a process to be able to follow up with people. It's just a sales process. Back in the old days, that's what we called it. We called it a sales process.
Yeah.
So if you were phoning people on the phone and then you put them into your diary to call them later, that was a funnel. So we just use fancy software these days, such as, like I say, ClickFunnels and Kajabi, and Optimize Press is another one. There's quite a few out there, and all they do is they automate this process, which is really wonderful, and make our lives easier. Yeah, and who doesn't want easy, right?
Right. It's and we also called it the sales pipeline. That was the other for all of us old timers out there. It was the sales pipeline.
Exactly.
Just a way of getting people through. So then what the funnel really does is present your audience. What is it? It's the call to action.
Right. Right. And, one of the things that people don't realize is that what happens if you present somebody with your offer? Maybe you're at a meetup group, in person. Maybe you just met them online for the first time and they don't buy your offer right away. Well, what happens? You have to have a way to, and I mean, I don't find something online and buy it immediately. Sometimes I want to think about it or get to know the person a little bit, find out some information, right? So then once we do that, then we may be more, I've had people on my email list for like 4 years who suddenly come back and say, oh, hey, I'm ready now to work with you, and I'm like, who are you again? Because you need to let them know who you are and what you do and why you might be more appropriate to work with than the next person. So that's all it is just a way to keep them in your world so that when they are ready to buy, then they think of you first. So that's the best way that I can describe it.
That's the funnel, and the follow-up is just, I say it over and over again, everybody, content is king. If you are letting people know who you are and what you can do for them by way of content, by way of ideas and tips and tricks, and put it out there through your funnel, get them to come in. The call to action is, hi, in exchange for your name and your email address, I will give you this wonderful information. I will let you know when things are happening. That's the funnel. That's the step-by-step hand-holding process of everybody out there. So paid traffic. And for some of our listeners that are newer, paid traffic being like Facebook ads, LinkedIn ads, YouTube ads, anything that's online that you are paying for, paid traffic. So I've got an ad on Facebook and I'm asking people to call me, email me, go to my website. Why do I need a funnel, or do I need a funnel?
You absolutely need a funnel. And here's why. Because what happens is oftentimes I would have people contact me to do Facebook ads. And I would say, one of the first questions I would ask them is, where would you like me to send all this nice traffic to you? And they go, I don't know, my website maybe. And so first of all, that's not a good idea to send paid traffic straight to your website. And here's why. There's too much stuff going on your website. There's too many distractions. You want to send them to an area where you can capture that traffic. You want to capture their email address and their name, ideally. I was on a car dealer website, and they had me pick out the features and the benefits and all of these cool things that they took me through. Not once did they ask for my information, and I thought, wow. And it was an ad that I clicked on. So they basically when you click on that ad, you pay for it. So if somebody clicks on your ad, you pay for it. So if you don't collect their name and email address, you've now lost them forever. So one of the more popular things that I get asked to do sometimes is, let's say you're having an event like a webinar or even an in-person event, whatever it may be, and you want to advertise for that. Well, so let's just say now the person clicks on that ad and they go to your registration page and they go, oh, the event is on Tuesday. I can't go on Tuesday. What am I going to do? Okay, no, I'm not going to go. And they click away. You've paid for that, but now you haven't collected the lead. So it's really important to make sure that wherever you're sending your paid traffic to, whether it's a LinkedIn ad or a YouTube ad or whatever Facebook ad, that you send them to a place where you're going to give away that free checklist, video, download, whatever it is, in exchange for their email address, their name and email, so that you now captured that traffic. So what happens if you do that, and then you send them something to say, hey, we're having an event next Tuesday. We'd love you to join us. Click here to join. And maybe they join and maybe they don't. But if they don't, guess what? You still have their information and you can keep following up with them. And maybe they will be able to make it. But if they don't, maybe they can make it next time. So that's what I always recommend.
All right. So instead of inviting them to the webinar, or I can still invite them to the webinar, but before I invite them to the webinar, say, by the way, I want to give you this free thing first, and capture their information and then tell them about the webinar.
Absolutely. That's the way I do it. So that's my secret sauce when I do ads, by the way. What I do is right on the thank you page, because what happens is, let's just say you're going to give away some sort of free checklist. And by the way, I always recommend, if it's event related, to make that whatever you're giving away closely related to the event details, kind of make it the same, match. And so you give away that free thing. When they put their name and email in, it's going to take them to a thank you page that's going to say, thanks for signing up. Do not give them the thing on the thank you page. This is a ninja tip here. Always send them to their email. And this is why. 2 reasons. 1, it's going to get them used to looking for your name in their email. And 2, it's going to increase your open rates. So they have to go there, click on your email to open it up, to now click on the link to go get their thing that you've just promised them. But on that thank you page, it's going to say, thanks for requesting your free information.
Right.
Check your email to get your free gift. By the way, we're having an event. Click here to join. You're going to give them a little bit more information, obviously.
Of course.
But right on the thank you page, you can introduce the event. And we get a really great opt-in rate from that. But again, if they can't make it, no problem. At least you have their information now and you can keep following up with them. Sometimes that person who thinks they can't initially make it to that event, maybe plans change and they can make it. But if not, again, you've still got them captured onto your email list and you can keep following up with them for either another event or other things, your products and services.
Right. And then you can, the day before the event and an hour before the event, you can invite them again because they're on your email list. And that's the point in time where they go, oh, so-and-so canceled on me, or this happened, or that happened. And now I can make this webinar, this online course, this whatever it is.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So give away the lead magnet first.
Yes.
And tell them about all the other things. That is an amazing tip. I hope everybody is jotting that down. Give away the lead magnet first. For those of you who don't know, the lead magnet is that free giveaway that is of value. It's not a sales pitch. It is an item of value. And Debbie just told you guys, make sure if you're connecting it to an event, make sure it connects to the event as well.
Right.
Your lead magnet, and then tell them about the event. So that is, that's like priceless right there.
Yeah. And oftentimes what happens is people, it will actually, if you're paying for the traffic, it will actually lower your cost of the clicks, because what happens is if you're advertising an event, sometimes for some reason it costs more. The algorithms change all the time. Yeah. And I've experienced lower if I'm just giving away some free item. Yeah. So it's interesting. We test things out all the time. And I don't know why, but it just is.
And there's absolutely no rhyme or reason. There is no rhyme or reason why the algorithms show you some stuff in Facebook. I mean, I think Zucky thinks that he knows what the hell he's doing over there. And he has a rhyme or reason as to why, things show up and things don't show up. But for the rest of us, there is no rhyme. There is no reason. Yeah.
That's on Facebook, by the way. I haven't tested that on other ad platforms because that's the one I'm most familiar with. But that's been the case for us, when we're advertising at events. It always seems to cost more money. Well, part of it is because in the end, the return on investment, you're not getting as many opt-ins for the event as if you're getting downloads for a free thing. So people are much more apt to opt in for a free thing than they are to sign up for an event.
Right. They may, and they may just pass it by. So what you're saying is, if I've got X number of advertising dollars to spend and I'm going to put it into pay-per-click ads, I'm going to get a better return on on my investment
Mm-hmm.
by giving something away than I am by advertising a specific event, a specific webinar, a specific whatever.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Unless you're very well known. Like, for example, I've noticed recently that Tony Robbins is running ads for his next event. Okay, everyone knows who Tony Robbins is. That's fair, right? But just for regular folks out there in Internetville, usually it's better to advertise a free thing and fill up your list.
Okay. All right. And I noticed a coach that's been doing, because we can't do live events at the moment. At the moment of this recording, the world was still under COVID quarantine. So I did notice, one of the first coaches event things that I went to years and years and eons ago is, and I want to talk to you a little bit about this. We've never done this before, doing our 5-day event, and it is going to be free online.
Mm-hmm.
And then 2 weeks later, we've never done this before. We're doing our 5-day event free online. And then 2 weeks later, dude, you've done it before. I've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
You have it on Facebook every 2 weeks. Do people notice that? Am I the only person that notices that you keep saying that you've never done this before, and now you're suddenly, for me, you're out of integrity, which is, for me, everything.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, integrity is everything. And people notice more than you think they notice out there, And I mean, Facebook in particular has become like a trashy magazine. You know what I mean? Like, so people do see that stuff. And if they're saying that, I'm not a fan of the false scarcity stuff. I mean, it's so over. People might have not noticed before, but they notice now that you can't hide that, Yeah.
That's absolutely everything. Just don't do it. Don't make up. Don't do the false scarcity. Don't do any of that.
Yeah.
Just lay it out on the line. When speaking, talking and speaking is the same thing, Catherine. When I'm writing something or whatever, I'll say something like full disclosure, in the middle of a conversation, or I'm having a discussion with one of my friends. That's code for I'm having a political discussion with a member of my family, but and I just say full disclosure. It's just sort of my way of going, all right, let's take a step back, because this is starting to feel icky. And let's talk about whatever the subject, whether, we're down in the trenches and serious about it, or it's just like a discussion for the sake of discussion. It seems to me that it's a thing that I say, but I kind of live by that. And you're telling us that that's how you should be with your advertising, with everything that you're putting out there in social media.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're not honest, it's going to catch up with you at some point. I mean, I just had a friend of mine call out somebody for ripping off his book. He literally had screenshots side by side with arrows pointing. This other person wrote a book and was promoting it. And he literally this guy had cut and paste passages right out of his book, and you can't get away with that stuff. Somebody's going to notice. And the thing that's really funny is that you might not see it somewhere, but your people, your fans, your friends, somebody will let you know that it's out there. So, you can't hide. People will see it.
Anything. The obvious, ripping off a book.
Mm-hmm.
It's so funny. Before we went online, a friend of mine called up, and we're both big Billy Joel fans. Everybody knows I'm a big, and she was relating a story about a podcast that she listens to, and it was a true crime podcast, and something or other that was sent to the police that the podcast was talking about, this important piece of evidence was like the song lyrics to a Billy Joel song. Who doesn't know the song lyrics to every Billy Joel song out there? And she just sent a message to the podcast going, you may want to change this.
Yeah, you might want to do your homework.
Right. But something as obvious as ripping off a book to something not as obvious as saying, we've never done this before. We're only going to do this for so long, and then repeating it. We've never done this before. We're only going to do it. Both of them are out of integrity.
Right.
So just tell the truth. Just be very in integrity with everything that you do. That's how you're building a list. And that's how you're building a list, I believe, with the kind of people that you want to work with. Because if you're out of integrity, you're going to attract the people that are out of integrity, and they become a real pain in the you-know-what to work with.
Yeah. When you're following up with your list, I mean, that's where they're going to get to know you. I certainly wouldn't want to deal with somebody who's not in integrity. And so when you're sending out your emails and following up with people, that's kind of like we liken it to dating all the time. So if you're not going to just walk up to somebody and say, hey, let's get married. You're going to go for coffee, maybe go for dinner, maybe go for a movie. You're going to chat and get to know each other. And so that's what the emails are for, for people to find out more about you. What do you do? What are your credentials? Are you all that in a bag of chips? Are you, what are the results that you've gotten in the past? And barbecue, the best. So, people want to know what your credentials are, and not only just your credentials, but they want to know about you. I had this conversation actually the other day with somebody where, there's a billion coaches out there, but what makes you resonate with one versus a different one? And it's just, a lot of it's personality. And so that the personality really, really needs to come through in your follow-up, in your emails, and even in your written content and your videos, anywhere where you're putting out any kind of content, it needs to have your personality. Otherwise, people don't know who they're working with. And that's important to people, because if they don't resonate with you, they might resonate with the next guy. I'm an introvert. I'm a little bit, calm, that sort of thing. And you're not. And so, but people would resonate with us differently. Like some people, resonate with me because I'm not a look at me screaming out the window kind of person. But other people go, no way, man. I want Cat. She's like, woo, So we might do the exact same thing, but different people are going to want a different personality. And that's where it's really important to put that into your follow-up. Years and years ago, I used to teach social media, and my emails to my list were very clinical, is I guess a good word for it. Here's how you do a post on Twitter, and it was very clinical sounding. And then I don't know why, but one day I just sent out an email, and it was a little bit more personal, not spilling my guts personal, but just, more personality to it. And I was talking in an I, instead of just, hey, you guys kind of thing.
Right.
And I got such good feedback from that email. I was like, whoa, really? What? So from then on, I started sending it, more from me, Debbie, not my company. And I never look back, because people want to hear from you. They don't want to hear from some nameless, faceless corporation. They want to hear from you,
I think it's the reason why we see more ads with CEOs of companies, or, employees of companies or something like that. We're over the years, we're seeing that more and more and more. Get in with the personality.
Yeah.
You put a personality to the company. We don't want to deal with the company anymore. We want to deal with the people in the company. We're realizing that for ourselves, I think.
Yes.
So that brings me around to, we're talking about the funnel. We're talking about capturing that email address, because you're talking about building a list.
Yes.
Why do I want to build a list? What what's the reason? Can't I just have people call the number on the screen and get with me?
Sure you can, but here's the problem with that. You can and you should, but they might not be ready right that very minute. So the purpose of having them on the list is to keep following up. And like I said, I've had people on my list for years before they're ready. Sometimes they're ready sooner. Maybe they're ready in 2 weeks. Maybe they're ready in 2 years. We just don't know, where they are in that customer journey. Like I've had people follow me and it's maybe just too soon for them to have my services or whatever. You just don't know where they are in their journey, but they like you and they want to hear what you're doing and your stuff and whatnot. But interestingly, because I've been working online for so many years, I actually started working online before Ryan Deiss. And if you don't know who Ryan Deiss is, he's the founder of Digital Marketer, which is a multi-million-dollar company, huge company.
I think it's billion. I think there's a B
is it
there.
Billions now? Is it B's?
I think Ryan's got it up to B's.
Well, funny story. So back in the day, Ryan looked like he was about 12 and he was a hustler, go-getter. He was like, doing all this stuff. And we had these affiliate or joint venture contests, and they had these leaderboards and you would win these huge prizes like cars. I mean, it was ridiculous, these contests. And Ryan figured out pretty early, email lists weren't a big thing back in those days. I mean, we're talking 15 years ago. And but he figured this out. He's like, I'm just going to put as many people as I can on my email list. Mm-hmm. Well, guess what? Suddenly he's winning all of these big contests, and all the gurus at the time were laughing at him. Who are you? You're 12. Like, go away. And they were making fun of him. They were actually making fun of him in their emails and saying, who is this guy? He's stupid. Go away. Well, now he's always in the top 3, winning their contests, and they kind of had to go, oh, he's making us a lot of money. We better be nice to him. So it was then that everyone started realizing, oh, he who has the biggest list wins. And that's not necessarily true today. I would much rather have a smaller, more targeted list that is, more my people that really want what I have, rather than 10 million followers that don't give a crap about what I'm doing, So but seriously, the list, you have to have, a following of people, a tribe of people who are, wondering what you're doing and following what you're doing and are able to buy your products and services. And you're constantly sending out not only offers to them, because don't just send offers. You've got to send out really great information as well. I'm on an email list with one guy. He literally sends an email every single day. And at first I thought that was going to be overwhelming, but his emails are so good. They're so funny. And he drops a link every day in there. I don't know. I don't find it offensive. Some people might, but I don't. I tend to like to send my emails once a week, but it's really up to you. It's up to the individual business and business owner and your audience and how, they want to receive the information as well. But also, when you have, maybe you're launching a new product or a new service, you want to have that audience in place to be able to send out that offer to, like, hey guys, I've been working on something really special. We're going to be launching it soon. Stay tuned. And then people are excited. They want to know more. And, it's a great, if you've got a nice big audience, it's a great way to be able to launch those new products and new services. And you can also joint venture with other people and say, hey, I've got this great service that I think, or product that I think your audience would love, and it's not really competing with that other person. And you can send each other's email list back and forth. And that is such a great way to grow your email list. Is probably one of the fastest ways today to do that. And because you're acting as a trusted person in both instances, you're being referred in a bigger way. So that's a couple of reasons why it's absolutely necessary to build your email list. It's not even optional. I don't even work with people who don't have an email list and don't want an email list. That's kind of a component to what I do. So or you at least want to, you could have maybe a smaller list and want to grow it, But I've actually run across people who've said, no, I'm not interested in doing the list. So I was like, okay, well, then we're not a fit. That's fine.
Never mind. Every place has an email list. I mean, nowadays, if you go, they don't always use it. And we can get into that discussion.
Yeah.
But you go to, a museum, you go to, a point of interest somewhere, you're going on vacation, you're traveling, hopefully we'll be able to do that again. But anything that you do, you go into your favorite restaurant, you go anywhere, they want to capture your email.
Yes.
Now, part 2 is put them into a funnel and start
following up. Yeah. Well, let me just give you a practical
emails.
Yeah, exactly.
I sent out an email, Debbie. I sent one out.
Yeah, one.
I did one. I got a card and I sent out an email, and I don't know why I'm not a 7-figure earner yet. I don't understand.
Yeah.
Please enlighten me.
I mean, here's the thing. If you were doing this offline and you phoned somebody once and you never phoned them again, do you think you're going to get business? No, it doesn't work that way. You have to, it doesn't mean you're going to be phoning them every 5 minutes. Are you ready? Are you ready? But at least you're going to be following up every so often and,
sure,
letting them know you're still there. But let me just tell you in practical terms how this works. So I had a client about 1.5 years, 2 years ago. She's a naturopath doctor. She had a physical location in Colorado and got shut down due to COVID, right? So what do you do? But luckily, we had been building her email list. She had created a product, like a digital online course, and she wanted us to help her launch it and sell it. And so we did that. We'd run it a couple of times, actually, and built her email list up quite a bit over, I think I worked with her for about 8-9 months. And then COVID hit. So she had to close her office. But guess what? She had become quite comfortable working online by this time. We had used Zoom quite a bit. And she was terrified of video before this, by the way. So she had to shoot videos for her course, as well as as a webinar. We did a webinar for her, as well as becoming comfortable just meeting on Zoom. So now she's got this digital product. She is comfortable on video, and she's now starting to meet her clients on Zoom. There's nothing wrong with that. She's been meeting them in the office all this time. There's nothing different than meeting on Zoom. So she's still charging money. They send her through a digital portal, and she then meets with them on Zoom. She's also partnered with an online lab. So they send her clients their little testing thing, their pee, poo, whatever. And then they package it up. So I know, right? But hey, it works. They send it back, and then she gets the results. And then she meets with her client again. She does the diagnostic, and it all works great. Now she can also do the prescription online. So she sends them to a digital pharmacy. The pharmacy sends the prescription straight to the person's house. They've still never had any physical contact, and yet she's made a lot of money up to this point. The other thing that she's done, so everybody is concerned about staying healthy and keeping their immune system boosted. So she sends out great emails once or twice a week talking about your immune system, about different things that could affect it, and giving people advice on different foods to eat, vitamins to buy, all of that kind of stuff. And also, she's partnered with an online vitamin company where she gets a commission every time she sends the traffic on her email list to that. And she makes thousands of dollars every month just from the vitamins alone, never mind anything else.
Right.
So all of her doctor buddies are going, we're sitting around crying and not getting any money, and she's just business as usual. And she's decided she doesn't even want to open her office back up again when they allow it. And so she's done very well. And not only that, she works the hours she wants to work now, not when her office hours were. So she posted this photo of her and her son skiing back last spring because she was able to she did a couple of appointments and then they went skiing, and it's completely changed her lifestyle because she now has this email list that makes her money month after month after month. And she's able to send out links to say, if you want to meet with me, here's my link. And people can set up an online meeting with her. And it's just been so it's a really concrete example of what you can do no matter what business you're in. It's not even an offline or online thing anymore. This is how the world works now, and it's not going to change. This is,
When I hear the dog bark, I know that the Amazon delivery truck is here. And it's not, and for everybody who's about to come down on me for supporting Amazon, it's not just big companies. They're small companies. I also support Etsy. I pretty much support all retail. But I hear the dog bark. There's somebody delivering something to me at the door. A small company through Amazon, Etsy, my local grocery, whatever it is. So you absolutely can go online. You absolutely need that email list so that you can continuously give good information. And then they go, oh, I need digital marketing. I need to talk to Debbie. Because all this time, these last 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years, since I started to follow her, read her stuff, whatever, I've gotten a lot of good information. I need to do something different. Let me talk to Debbie. Let me talk to Kat. Let me talk to whomever. So what exactly, tell us some of the things precisely, that you can do for coaches, consultants, authors, service-based businesses, retail businesses, brick and mortar, like the naturopath. What are some of the things that you do?
So we help people set up an online course if that's something that they want to do. For example, I know a lot of coaches have books. They've written books. We can take your book and help you put that into a course format. And then oftentimes what happens is people get a great idea for a course or a program online. Maybe you had a program physically where people would come to the community center and take that program. We could digitize that now. We can put it online. But the mistake that often people make is that they don't build that audience, that email list first. And so they create this course and then they go, now what do we do? I don't know how to sell this course. So that's what we do. We help you create the audience, create the course, launch that course, and so that you actually get paid for it. We also are helping. I work a lot with coaches, consultants, speakers, that sort of thing. One of the things that happened was all the events went away. So couldn't go to in-person events anymore. So we help them create online events so that they can still get their retreats out there, the things that they used to do when they would have, a lot of people joining. Now we're just doing it online. We're helping them sell their coaching programs online, all that kind of thing. So we put up the sales pages. We help them write the copy. That's one of the things that's really important. We help them with their messaging. Oftentimes, I find that people come to me and they have really great stuff. It's just not worded quite correctly, and they're wondering why people aren't attracted to them. One of the things I like to say is that I help put the puzzle together for them. So what I do, oftentimes when clients come to me, they have a box of puzzle pieces, and we just dump it all out on the table and we move them all around and see, are there any pieces missing? And if there are, then we create them, and then we put that whole thing together, because quite often people have a lot of the stuff they need. They have an email list started, they have a landing page, they have maybe a webinar, but it's not working. They're not making money. And so we go in and diagnose what the problem is, and then move some things around, create better copy for them, that sort of thing. And, from there, then they start to make money. So
I think what I see a lot of, and you probably see the same thing or similar, The thing to do this week is to create a webinar, which is now called a master class, which is now called a whatever. So everybody creates a webinar. And then the thing to do is to create a 5-day challenge, and everybody creates a 5-day challenge. And the thing to do is to, send out emails and be part of a gift giveaway, and everybody does the gift giveaway. And so, as you just said, fractionated
Mm-hmm.
all over the place. You put it together, repurposing it, redistributing it,
Mm-hmm.
making it new again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that one of the things that I see a lot is people doing exactly what you're saying, doing that 5-day challenge, doing the webinar, but they don't have the basics set up. They don't even have an opt-in. They don't have any place to send traffic. And so you really need to get your basics put in place first, just to be able to capture that traffic. And if you don't have that, all of that other stuff is just going to be noise. You're just going to be, it's going to be like one foot nailed to the floor, and you're going to be running, and nothing's going to be happening. So once you have the basics in place, then you can start to build on those basics and create your 6- and 7-figure business, if that's what you desire.
Exactly. I would say, like, if you remember back to when you were a kid and you begged your parents to have a party for you. I want to have a birthday party. I want all my friends to come over. And then they came over. And if you not have parents and you didn't figure out what was going to happen at that party, there were you just sitting around going, okay, when's the cake? Because there's nothing else happening. You're sending out these things. You're doing all these things. You're inviting everybody into your world. You're bringing everybody into your funnel. And then what? So, Debbie.
That is such a good phrase. And then what? I love that so much because, yeah, people say, well, I started growing an email list, but I didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
So, but you have to constantly follow up with those people and let them know what you do. Otherwise they can't hire you. You have to. It's funny, and even years ago, sometimes I was watching somebody's stuff online. They came to me and they're like, I'm not making any money. So I went and they said, I'm on social media all the time, because I used to teach social media a lot. And I go on their Facebook, just their Facebook specifically, and I started looking through all of their posts, and I'm like, you haven't actually put a link in anywhere. There's no way that people can work with you. There's no offer. There's not even, hey, DM me for details. So how can you sell anything if you haven't offered anything? So, but they were killing themselves out there, screaming on the social media all the time, look at me, but they weren't actually making offers, and so they weren't selling anything. So yeah,
it is the smallest pieces that you're missing, and that is the biggest impact. So we've got the link, the banner anyway, DebbiePeckDigital.com, peckdigital.com. Have your funnel put together, have the system in place, make sure that little tiny piece, like the call to action, is there. It is easy to understand. You've got all the pieces together.
Exactly.
And that's the only way that you're going to build your business, because people are stalking you. People are looking you up online.
They are looking at you.
Big company, small company, you've got to put good stuff out there. When you put the good stuff out there, you've got to capture the emails, you've got to capture these people, and then keep giving them good stuff. Keep giving them yummy and delicious things, and they'll become clients.
Exactly. And even here today, typically I wouldn't just put my email or put my website here. I would put a landing page of some sort. In our case, we're doing this really quickly. So, but my website actually does have a place to opt in for something. You can get a free gift. So, if you have to do that, make sure you have a way to capture the traffic.
Right.
I always like to offer something for free, and I always send out really good content. Because I live a freedom lifestyle, I travel around the world because I work from anywhere. As long as I've got Wi-Fi, I'm good to go. People love that aspect of it. And so I put out a lot of freedom tips. I put out a lot of, working on the road and traveling, while you're doing your work. And that's kind of the angle that I have that people enjoy. I'm not, typically a coach that has a physical space. So, if that's something that people are interested in, that's typically the type of content that I send out is, oh, hey, I'm here working from Ecuador, and, people tend to like that. So.
Right. So figure out what in your personal life expresses what you do in your professional life, and let people know that there's a person behind the business.
Yes.
Any last words of wisdom for our audience?
Wow. In one sentence or less? I think just the whole funnel idea. Don't just think, oh, that's not for me, I don't need it because I'm brand new. The best thing you could ever do, whether you're brand new or whether you've been around for a while, is just set up something where it's just very simple. Capture the lead, capture their email address,
right,
and send them a couple of emails to follow up. If you don't have time to write a whole series of them, at least get a few of them out there and add to them as you can, But it's so, so important. Oh, yes, I do have a last word of wisdom. Yes, okay. I do. So the one thing that I get asked about all the time is what's the cheapest funnel software out there? So here's my advice on this whole, what's the cheapest email platform, funnel software, webinar software, and all that. You're in business. I would never ask a storefront business, why, like they're not going to ask what's the biggest freebie out there. You're running a business. Those things are typically write-offs. Talk to your accountant, but it's a cost of doing business. I don't look for the cheapest. I look for whatever the best one that's going to work for me and my business to serve what I'm trying to do, what I'm trying to accomplish. So don't look for the cheapest. Obviously, don't spend more than you need to, but choose, some people ask me, well, is ClickFunnels better than Kajabi? It depends. What are you doing? What do you need it for? If cost is your only concern, that can be a bit of a danger zone. You want to make sure that you're choosing the features and benefits that are going to work for your business. And I don't mind paying for that. If it's going to work for me and it's going to make me more money ultimately, then that's what I'm looking for.
Choose wisely. Choose wisely. There are some people that they will do 1, 2, 3 different softwares. There's me. I want to do one software that does those 3 things because for the way my brain works, it's easier.
Yeah.
For some other people, for the way their brain works or their team or whatever, it's easier for them to be operating in 3 different systems and put them all together.
Right.
And that's where Debbie comes in, and she will build it all for you, and then you can maintain it, you can understand it, you can do it.
Exactly.
So Debbie, thank you so much for being on the show.
I was happy to be here. So exciting.
A lot of great information for everybody out there. Build that funnel, get that landing page. The landing page, real quick, is not your website. It's someplace else that just talks about one little thing. Don't confuse people. Confused mind does not buy. Don't confuse people. Your website is for people to cyber stalk you. Your landing page is so that you can tell them about one thing and capture their information. It's the invitation to the party. Debbie will help you with all of that. Debbie will help you with all of those things. So DebbiePeckDigital.com. Again, thank you so much.
You're so welcome. I love it.
Called me up at the last minute. And for my listening audience, for all my friends out there and colleagues that knows Stacy B, just keep her in your hearts. Little stuff going on with the family. So Stacy, we love you. And until next time, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you for having me.
Bye.